Says we're live here. If anybody's in the chat, please let me know if I'm getting a steady stream. I wanted to bring a couple quick things to you guys and make you aware of the reason why I think it's going to be harder for individuals to control this virus. One being the fact that in our local town here, an individual decided to leave quarantine and go off into the city, which in turn, police had to track him down later on. Police had to track him down from 10 in the morning till 7 at night. That's how long he was out there before they actually found this gentleman. This is the reason why we can't contain this thing, because you got individuals like that who know they're infected and run out into the streets and towns, and you don't know where they're at, what they're doing, who they're in contact with. That's the main thing, who they're in contact with. And then there's an airborne virus here. So anybody that's within range of him is getting sick and don't even know it. That's the scary part about all this. And the thing is spreading like wildfire already, as if we needed this incident as well. These are the things we have to be more conscious of when we're out and about. And this is the reason why they want us to stay in place, because of individuals like this gentleman here. Another thing, there was a saying that I guess younger individuals cannot catch the virus, which is not true. An individual that was 10 years old actually had caught the virus and is hospitalized right now as we speak, getting testing done, going through the motions. But this just lets you know that you are not untouchable by any means. You can be touched by this virus. It does not discriminate against race, color, creed, belief, whatever. This thing is out to get whoever it can get as fast as it can get them. So we need to take heed to this and make sure we're taking the proper precautions, whatever they might be, to make sure you don't come in contact with it. Because I was just overhearing this thing. They don't know exactly when this thing is gonna just subside, to be honest. They're guessing a month, maybe two. Nobody really knows right now because it's in its infancy, and they're not used to this virus at all. From the government to the medical field, they're not sure on which way it's gonna go yet and how to maintain it. That's why they're saying everybody stay in place, because they're unsure and they don't want to just have a bunch of people out in the world running around and then everybody's contaminated with this virus. And it's just a constant cycle of, death on top of death on top of death, because you got to think the more people that are infected, the more outcome of death is going to come out. Especially people that they say have underlying issues and different things like that. They'll be the first to go. And I hate to say it like that, but that's the truth. Where other people, it'll take a little bit longer probably for them to eventually go. You had that case here. You have another individual who was in a halfway house who felt ill, so they decided to go to the hospital. They had the symptoms. That one, they did not say whether it was positive or negative yet. They're still waiting on an outcome for that. But this is what we're dealing with. So all we have to do is just be vigilant and watch where we go and who we deal with and things like that, even though you can't see the virus. The virus is not like, hey, here I am. Somebody could be walking around with it, don't even know it. until what they say 7 to 14 days later is when you see the, that's scary, man. That's very scary to know that, you know, you could be walking around and be infected with this virus. So we just have to figure out how to make sure our families are protected. We can't save everybody, but as long as we can save our family from this in some type of capacity, I think we'll be okay. But everybody has to follow like a chain of events. Everybody has to be on the same train in order for this thing to subside and go away. But I think that's where we're going to have the disconnect within the people, because you got people that don't think it's serious, think it's just a hoax, think, different things. And when you got those people on top of people that are like, you know what, this is serious, this is what happened. It's not going to turn out well at all. So we have to make sure we take every step to protecting ourselves and others around us, because this thing can just get so out of control that there won't be no kind of curing it at all. It's just another thing that we got to deal with. We have to roll with the punches, keep moving forward, pay attention to the news, but don't take it with a grain of salt at the same time, because everybody has their own section of the stories and what's right and what's wrong, and Trump this and Trump that, and if he's right or if he's wrong, or if, who's coming with the right information. Right now, I feel like everybody's pointing fingers, but nobody's trying to say, okay, let me do my part and not point finger. Let me just do what I can do to make sure everything's good on my end and the people around me, like I said. They will figure it out somehow, hopefully. Hopefully it won't be too late. But I'm sure there's going to be something. I mean, it's not the first virus that popped up. In my generation, yes. But in the history of viruses, no. So eventually they will come up with something that would kind of take care of the situation. But until then, we have to take our steps in making sure we do what we need to do on our end. I know everybody's like, oh, martial law this and martial law that. But if it's necessary to be in a situation where we need to have this martial law situation, then that's what it is. We just have to bear and grin and keep moving. It's for our own safety, for our own good at this point. Because if you're watching the numbers, and numbers don't lie, even though they say numbers lie, numbers don't lie, people do. One thing about the numbers on a constant rise right now. A constant rise. So what we need to do is to decrease those numbers. And the only way to decrease those numbers is to stay in place and do what we need to do. It was real when they started shutting down big events, because all these things cost people money. And at the end of the day, what everybody care about? Money. I don't care who you are. At some point, you care about money. So if it's affecting the money, it's not a hoax. It must be real. There's no reason to go shutting down every different activity, sports activities, things like that. And I'm just like, oh, what's good, Nick? What's going on, buddy? Yeah, I was trying to get the video part in there, but I was getting buffering and all that, so I just cut that part out. So I'm trying to see what it's like with this. I'm glad to hear that the mic sounds good. So hopefully, I fixed the other end. But yeah, we have to do our part. That's just it. I mean, it sucks that we got to be tied in the house, and I know some of us got 5, 6 kids maybe running around the house driving us nuts. 1,000,001 questions, but at least at this point in time they're safe. And that's the main thing, to know that your family is safe, and hopefully it doesn't hit home for you, and you can just, maneuver through it. And your family, older family members, make sure they're safe, even if you got to call them. Because I know a lot of people don't live with their mother and father, they're older folks, they either, wherever they are, but just make sure you give them a call, make sure they're safe. Because this thing is just ripping through cities, towns, countries, and look how fast it spread from the first day we heard about it. Now, granted, the government may have known about it prior to us knowing about it because they're privy to a lot of more information than we are. But at the end of the day, they got it out to us. Now it's our turn to do our part. A lot of people say, oh, it came so late and they already knew months ahead and da 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 da. You had individuals who found out about the virus a couple months before that. Then they turned around and sold off their stock. Hey, if somebody give you the 411 information ahead of time, is it right? Is it wrong? Martha Stewart, she was wrong. She went to jail. If these people are in the same situation as her, which I don't know, it sounds like it, but at the end of the day, I feel like, they should be held accountable as well. I don't know. Right now here, we getting snow up here, man. We getting snow. Yeah, your streets are empty. Yeah, it's empty up here too. But the thing about here is, man, they went crazy when it all popped off. I mean, I went in the store and I could barely get anything when just a week or two ago, and that was when the reality really settled in for me. The reality of it really settled in for me when you went to a store and you could not get your necessities, or if you did get them, it was very limited. Like what you would usually get two of, you only could get the one that was on the shelf type thing. People taking pictures of it, you know. But at the end of the day, supply and demand, they can't keep up with this demand now. The suppliers can't get here fast enough. The demand is constantly coming. It's a madhouse right now for us. It's definitely a madhouse. But all we could do is try to make sure we do our part. Like I said, and if you went out, you went shopping, got as much as you could get, because I know where I'm at, they're talking about today being the day where they're going to lock down completely. And if that's what needs to happen, that's what needs to happen. You know, it's all in the good faith of being safe at the end of the day. So, like schools, I'm a bus driver, so schools are out. I'm out of work, but I know at the end of the day, my family's safe. I'm safe. We're in the house, and that's that. I'll worry about that part when I have to. But for right now, I'm not worried about it. I'm not going to stress about it. I know, everything has an end date, hopefully. That's what I'm hoping, that we have an end date with this thing eventually. But like I said, when you got people running around fleeing quarantine units, how are you going to stop a virus? How are you going to stop? How would you stop a plague if everybody's running around that are contaminated and coming in contact with other individuals like that man did there? You'll never be able to stop the virus completely if this is going on. I don't know. Every day if you watch the news, they're doing the conferences. Every day they're talking about it. The medical team is talking about it. Trump is They're talking about it, talking about it, talking about it, and they're updating you every day on, okay, this is the situation, this situation, this situation. But they can't do it as fast as people like, and then they're like, well, what about this? What about that? You can't worry about things that haven't happened yet. And they're human just like us. So they're only going to get the information as fast as they could get it. They can only make changes and adjust things as fast as they can do it. So we, as the people of the U.S., have to be patient. And I think that's our problem here. We're never patient when it comes to receiving information, or, if the information is correct and things like that. We have to take a step back, let them do their job, and then get back to us. Even though, yeah, it sucks that we would have to wait, but we have to pump the brakes and wait. It's not going to be forever. We just have to wait it out. Once we wait it out, see what's what, we can move forward. You know what I mean? Like we have to just wait, And I see that a lot of the stars they're doing their thing on their behalf to try to, you know, ease everybody's fears in a way by, doing book readings for the kids and that's real nice. All these things are very well appreciated. If nobody told them, I think it's very well appreciated and it eases people's fears a little bit. It takes you out of this, world for a little while, and that's all we need. Sometimes we need that step back, clear the mind, come back, analyze the situation, and move forward. You know. Hey Nick, where you at, man? You on your way home? You said right? If you still there, but yeah, we gotta figure it out. We have to just do what we can do on our end. You know, um, they left things. There are things open for us. If we need it, we can still go to the store. If we need to eat, we can still get food delivered. So it's not as bad as we all think it is. But this is the reason why you shouldn't take anything for granted. Because did any of us know that one day somebody gonna tell us, you can't go outside? I didn't know that. I never thought about that. Here, we so used to everything being come and go as you please, do what you want, live a free life, blah 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 blah. But as soon as something's stripped away from us, is the end of the world for a lot of people. You know, it's not the end of the world. You know, a lot of us we've dealt with stuff being stripped away. You know what I mean? So if it's just another cog in the wheel, that's it. And that's fine. But then you just move on. You figure it out and you move on. You know? We have to take it a day at a time until all the information is out on the table. Once all the information on the table, you pick and choose what you want to believe and don't believe and how you want to move. But do I think they should clear the streets? Of course. If this is true, if the clearing the streets is truly going to help clear the streets. I think what their philosophy is if you clear the streets, if the virus is in the streets, you clear the streets, you contain whoever needs to be contained. But the problem is I don't think they're going to be able, well, I won't say they won't be able to because if somebody's sick, our first inclination is to go to the hospital. If we don't feel good, we go to the hospital. Nobody sits home and says, okay, let me just ride this thing out a lot of times. Little things like little fever, little things we like, oh, we'll ride it out. But anything we feel like, nah, this got to go to the doctors. This got to be taken care of. I can't do it. We're at the nearest emergency room. So that's not, a big thing. But that's how I believe they're analyzing this like, okay, if we contain everybody into their homes for several amount of time, I don't know, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, whatever, give it enough time to subside and then bring everybody back out, everything should be cool. But my thing with that is, what if you bring everybody back out and then the air rises again? Because I did hear one of the gentlemen say that it can come and go. Now, if it came back and you got it again, will it be deadly for you? I don't think they're sure about it. They're not too sure about if it's going to be a deadly situation for you. So that's another thing. You just got to say, you know what it is, and have faith and move on. That's it, because they're human just like us. They're only giving us the information that they have. And the information that they have is not as much as people would like right now, but it's information. So we just have to give them their chance, give them their shot to make things, move and do what they need to do. And I think that'll be all right, I think we'll be all right as a society. I think we'll be fine. I think what it is, we kind of jump the gun a lot of the times on things and don't, let them come to us like they need to. And that's human nature a lot of the time, especially here. There's no other way to figure it out but that way. to just say, you know what, now I'm gonna figure this out right now because I ain't waiting on nobody. That's our thing too. We don't like to wait on nobody. We gotta be the first to do whatever. So that's basically what we going through right now. But yeah, like I said, the gentleman fled, left the quarantine unit, and went off and was gone for hours. And police caught up with him and was able to get him to go back to quarantine and things like that. There was another individual. It was a halfway house resident who had the flu-like symptoms, but they didn't say if he was positive or negative yet here around here. So, I mean, these are the things you're dealing with. Now, that what if that individual that was in the halfway house is positive? Now, he was in a unit with another, what they say, around like, I don't know, maybe 60, 70 people. So just think that chain effect is going to have a chain effect. If this guy, I'm sure if you in a halfway house or a residency or wherever, you're in communication with other people, constant close quarters and things like that. So now it goes from you, it goes to that person, that you know how it goes. So that's the thing. It's almost like the telephone. The game, the telephone is like that. By the time it get to the last person, it's done changed. Well, I don't know if this virus had changed, but by the time it gets to the last person, somebody, will probably be deceased. And I hate to say it like that, but this is the way it's going at the rapid pace. They just had, I just saw something. They had a graph where, the problem with people is that more men are like, oh, this ain't real. We got to be macho. Oh, this can't happen. Oh, da da da. While women are more concerned, they said men are less concerned. Women were like 48, men were like 27 or something stupid like that. But that's just that macho bravo stuff that men do. Because I ain't gonna front. At the beginning of it, I was like, oh, that's just something they trying to drum up. But what brought it to my attention that it was real is when they shut my job down. When when they said no, we're gonna pump the brakes on you going to drive these kids to school today. And I was like, damn, this is real. It don't get no realer than that now. But at the end of the day, it's for safety purposes. So I said, okay, cool. But that's when I realized, you know what? Nah, they don't just do that. When you ever known something to just get shut down immediately, schools especially. Schools, restaurants, and you name it, everything shut down. Whole thing shut down. Some restaurants got to stay open. There's a list of different things that get to stay open, laundromats, things like that. But this is just our reality right now. It's not always going to be. But for right now, this is our reality, and we just have to deal with it. If you don't have to go outside, don't go outside. That's all. Hopefully, what is it, March? Hopefully by June, everything will be back to normal. I say June. I'll give it a little bit. They trying to do it faster. Sometimes everything don't work out like that. So I'm going to just tell myself, you know what? June would probably be more realistic for this thing to go on about its business. And everybody be okay. I think we need to really spread the word and really put it out there, and let people know, yo, this is real. This ain't no game. It ain't no joke. You got athletes getting sick. You got actors getting sick. You got NBAs, NFLs, everything shutting down. Everything coming to a cease. And then when you see that, all right, I gotta take this one. This one's real right here. But that's it. That's my time. I just want to say thank you guys for tuning into the channel, and make sure you spread it, and let people know about what's going on. And I'll talk to you guys later. CT Radio 85. I'm out.